Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm really excited to share something interesting with you. I've just received the final version of the Zentage Buffet Booster EA, and today we're going to start testing it. Now the name is quite funny. It calls itself a Buffet EA. When I first heard that, I thought about an all-you-can-eat buffet. Eat whatever you want. Of course, I'm kidding. But actually, the concept is quite similar. This EA comes with 11 trigger strategies and 8 filter strategies, and you can combine them freely. When you multiply those together, it gives you 88 possible strategy combinations inside one single EA. So instead of just running one fixed strategy, this EA allows you to explore many different trading logics. Now, this raises an important question. How do we identify the best strategies among these 88 combinations? In particular, I want to find the top 3 strategies that are worth studying further. So the first step we're going to use is optimization. Normally, in algorithmic trading, optimization is used to fine-tune small configuration parameters, things like stop loss, take profit, or indicator periods, and after you already know which strategy you are using. Typically, the workflow looks like this. You start with an EA that has one clear strategy. Then you optimize the parameters. After that, you run long-term back tests over multiple years. If the results look stable, you move to forward testing on a demo account. And finally, if everything still looks good, you go to live trading. But in our case, things are a little bit different because the Buffet Booster EA contains many strategies inside one system. We actually need to add one extra step at the beginning. Before we optimize parameters, we first need to optimize the strategy selection itself. In other words, we need to discover which strategy combinations work best for the market. For example, it could be something like Ichimoku combined with EMA, or Super Trend combined with ATR, or something completely different. At this stage, we honestly don't know yet, but that's exactly what the optimization engine is going to help us discover. So in this video, we're going to run the optimization process and see which strategies rise to the top. Let's get started. Before we start the optimization, we need to define the backtest environment. First, let's talk about the market and the testing period. For this experiment, I will use gold XAUUSD, and the backtest period will be from January 2024 until today, April 2026. Now you might ask, why did I choose this specific period? The reason is related to macroeconomic structure. During this period, gold has been in a long-term upward trend. There are several macro factors behind this, such as inflation concerns, geopolitical risks, and central bank gold accumulation. Because of these macro drivers, gold has shown a clear directional bias over the last couple of years. When we design or test trading strategies, it's important to understand the market regime we are operating in. If you are interested in the deeper reasoning behind this approach, you can check out my blog. I have written a couple of articles explaining this framework. One of them is called From Direction to Execution, the Three-Layer Edge Framework. Another one is Understanding Trading Edge, Why Some Participants Win Consistently in the Market. In those articles, I explain how trading edge is often built in layers, starting from macro direction, then strategy logic, and finally execution efficiency. So in this experiment, the direction layer is already defined. Gold has been in a structural bullish environment. Now we want to see which execution strategy works best inside that environment. All right, so we have determined the market and the testing period. Now let's move on to MetaTrader 5 and set up the optimization process. This is the MetaTrader 5 strategy tester where we will configure the optimization environment. First of all, we need to select the expert advisor. In this case, I will choose the Zentage Buffet Booster EA. Next, we need to select the trading symbol. Here I am using XAUUSD_TDS. The reason you see TDS in the symbol name is because this data was imported using tick data suite, which provides very high quality historical tick data. Compared with standard broker data, tick data allows us to simulate the market much more accurately. With this data set, the backtest report should show around a 99% modeling quality, which gives us much higher confidence in the results. Next, we set the testing period. For this optimization, I will use January 1st, 2024 to April 1st, 2026, which is the time window we discussed earlier when gold was in a strong macro uptrend. Then we set the initial deposit, which I will set to $100,000. This allows us to simulate a realistic trading environment, especially for traders who are working with prop firm account sizes or larger trading accounts. Once all these parameters are configured, we can move on to the optimization settings and then start running the optimization to discover which strategy combinations perform best. Now we are at the optimization input page of the EA. As I mentioned earlier, our objective here is very clear. We want to identify the top 3 strategies out of the 88 possible combinations available in the Zentage Buffet Booster EA. So let's take a look at the key optimization settings. First, you can see the trigger mode parameter here. The trigger mode represents the entry logic of the strategy. In other words, how the EA decides when to open a trade. For this optimization, we set the start value to 0, the step to 1, and the stop value to 10. This means MetaTrader will automatically test all 11 trigger strategies from trigger 0 all the way to trigger 10. Next, we have the filter mode, which represents the context layer of the strategy. The filter is used to determine whether market conditions are suitable for trading. For example, it could be trend filters, volatility filters, or other confirmation conditions. Here, we also use the same optimization logic. The start value is 0, the step is 1, and the stop value is 7. This means the system will test all 8 filter modes from filter 0 to filter 7. When you combine the 11 trigger strategies with the 8 filter strategies, we get a total of 88 possible strategy combinations. MetaTrader will run through all of these combinations automatically during the optimization process. Once the optimization is completed, we will analyze the results and identify the top 3 strategies that show the best balance between profitability, drawdown, and statistical robustness. All right, everything is configured. Let's start the optimization and see what the results look like. After a few moments later, well, to be honest, it was not just a few moments. It actually took about 3 hours for the optimization to finish. Now the optimization test is completed and the results are here. Let's take a look at the first result on the list. The profit factor is 1.97, which is already an extremely good result. The total profit is around $700,000, and the number of trades is about 1,000, which is actually quite healthy from a statistical perspective, and the drawdown is only 9%, which is very impressive. Wow. This optimization table is starting to look like a treasure box of strategies. All right, now I think we should analyze the results column by column. Let's start with the profit column and find the most profitable strategy. Wow, what the hell? Look at this. The most profitable one is $979,000. That's insane that it's almost $1 million. Remember, the risk amount I set for each trade is only $5,000, and the initial deposit is just $100,000. So this result is actually very impressive. Now let's check the maximum drawdown for this strategy. It is only 5.18%. If you calculate that, 979,000 multiplied by roughly 5.2%, it suggests that the capital requirement could actually be much lower. In fact, the 100,000 deposit I used is probably too conservative. Even $60,000 might be enough to support this strategy. And remember this one? The pass number is 25. So for now, pass 25 becomes my first candidate. All right, next, let's analyze the profit factor column. Let's find the strategy with the highest profit factor. Here we go, 3.37. Now that is extremely high. But if we look closer, the number of trades is only 131, which is quite low. And the total profit is not particularly impressive either. So, statistically speaking, this strategy is not very reliable. Let's move to the second highest profit factor. Here we have profit factor 2.12. Just for reference, casinos usually operate at about 1.1 profit factor. So anything above 2 is already outstanding. This strategy also has 1,042 trades, which is actually a good sample size. And the profit is around $762,000, which is also very strong. So this one is looking very attractive. Let's remember this one, pass number 23. But now I'm starting to hesitate, because the previous one, pass 25, is almost $1 million in profit. So which one is actually better? All right, let's move on and check the drawdown column. Generally speaking, the lower the drawdown percentage, the safer the strategy. Looking at the top of the list, I can see past 25 and past 23 again appearing in the first two rows. And then the third one, past number 12, also looks very interesting. This one shows profit around $800,000, profit factor 2.05, drawdown 6.68%, number of trades more than 1,000. Actually, this one is even more profitable than past 23, while still maintaining a very reasonable drawdown. Now I'm starting to get into a very difficult situation because there are too many good strategies here. If we keep scrolling down, we can see many strong candidates. All right, I think I need some help here. Let's ask ChatGPT to analyze the optimization report and help me identify the top 3 strategies. Pass number 23 and pass number 12 were not even included in the top 10 list. That surprised me because, from my perspective, these two strategies actually looked very strong. Let's see what its angle is to look at this report. Instead of simply picking the most profitable strategies, the ranking focuses on the best balance between risk and robustness. According to this analysis, the top 3 strategies are Pass 25, Pass 8, and Pass 26. What they all have in common is relatively low drawdown, strong profit factor, and a large number of trades, all above 1,500. This is important because a larger sample size usually means the strategy is more statistically reliable. The profit factor of these strategies is also above 1.68, which indicates a strong trading edge. Overall, this combination suggests lower overfitting risk and better stability for long-term trading. So from a quantitative perspective, these 3 strategies appear to be the most robust candidates. ChatGPT also explained why some strategies were ruled out. A few strategies actually produced over $1 million profit, like Pass 14 and Pass 5. But the problem is drawdown. Pass 14 has 32% drawdown, Pass 5 about 31%, and Pass 16 around 35%. For prop firm trading, that level of risk is simply too high. Some strategies also show signs of overtrading, like Pass 36 with a lower profit factor and too many trades. So overall, we see 2 types of strategies. The first type generates very high profit, but also very high risk. The second type focuses on stable performance, such as Pass 25, Pass 8, and Pass 26. These strategies maintain strong profit factors while keeping drawdown relatively low. And this highlights the key strength of the Buffet Booster EA. It's not about finding one perfect strategy, but discovering clusters of profitable combinations. All right, well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this optimization experiment. Let me know in the comments which strategy result you like the most. And if you have any ideas on which configuration we should test next, feel free to share as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.